Hi, I'm Jessica, and when I'm not drinking all the coffee, watching Razorback sports, or hanging out with my family of boys, it's my passion to help elementary music teachers just like you find your unique teaching style. My goal with this podcast is to share helpful tips, strategies, and to give you the motivation you need to gain momentum in your teaching so you can continue being the music teacher rock star you already are. Episode 15, everybody. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe it's episode 15. That's so exciting. I remember starting this podcast and thinking, oh my goodness, I just have one episode, and now we're at 15. Woohoo! Everybody, celebrate with me. All right, so moving on, sorry. Episode 15, we're going to talk about today how to welcome your students in the music room, whether they're new students or students you've had a while, or kindergarten students who, that's a whole different fun bag all in itself. We're going to talk about it all. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is don't just assume all your students know you. It's really easy, I feel like, as the music teacher or any teacher who has all the students in the school to just want to just jump right in and assume all the students, I'm not talking about kindergarten right now, but first through fifth, or if you have sixth grade, that they all just know you already. They already know what to do in music. They know what to expect, but no, don't just assume that your students know you. What I mean by that is you're going to have new students to your school, but you're also going to have students, even though you have the same students, that are going to be in a different grade. And so you're going to have different expectations every year than you had the year before, if that makes sense. Like, for instance, let me give an example. In third grade, more than likely, you may, but I did not do recorders, but fourth grade did. So just assuming that they already knew what to expect would not have worked well. So even though most of your students at your school already know you, don't just start the school year assuming that everybody knows you, everybody knows what to expect. And also, on top of that, whether there's new students in the class or not, a lot of the kids have already known each other, depending on the size of your school, but a lot of them have not been in the same class together before. So it's going to take a little bit for them to kind of mesh together as a class and to work together in cooperative learning, for that to take place. And it's your job as the teacher to usher that in. So getting them, I would say the first couple weeks, getting everybody used to each other, used to coming to music class, getting to know you if you're brand new to some of these students who have transferred to your school. Get them comfortable at the beginning is really important. And so I've talked, goodness, till I'm blue in the face about procedures, but going over procedures is important, not just because it helps, with classroom management, and we've talked about that a lot, and I've written blog posts about it and talked about it on Facebook Lives and on this podcast. But the other reason going over procedures is important is because it does help students feel comfortable. So that's another good way for them to come in music class, and even if they're having, if they've been if they've been a student at your school for a while, but maybe they are still not very comfortable coming to music class, letting them know what you expect, and not just like, these are the rules, but like what's going to be happening in music class. This is all the things we're going to do, but this is what I expect when we do them. Make it fun. And so they know what's going to be happening in music class that year, and they're going to be excited. You could even show them, how to play a certain instrument, or show them around the classroom, just kind of like an open house. If you had someone at your home, you would show them around your house, probably. Maybe. It depends on who it is. Maybe, not like some random guy delivering a box, but, a friend. You would show them around your home. Well, the same thing with your students. After you go over the procedures, they're comfortable, and you have shown them what you expect, and you've even gone over all the fun things, then show them around your classroom. like I already mentioned, they're going to be in a new grade. So there may be something you didn't do with a certain grade level that now that they're in a new grade level, they're going to get to do them. We already talked about the recorder, but maybe there's something else in your room. Maybe for instance, you have some student computers, and let's say with second grade, you did, the smart board or the student computers, but you were the one mainly doing all of the, basically playing a YouTube video for them to watch. It wasn't like a lot of interactive, hands-on learning kind of stuff. But now that they're in third grade and they're considered upper elementary, you're like, okay, you know what? We used this last year, but guess what you get to do this year? And then, get them excited about you're still coming to music class, but every year you get to do something new. So go around the room and show them, maybe you've moved some things around and you changed your classroom up, or like I've already said, you have new students who have never been in your music class before, and they were at a different school and their music teacher's room looked way different than yours. So just go over it with everyone like it's brand new. Show them around the room. This is where I keep all the things. This is what you do if you need to, blow your nose or whatever. Make sure they all feel comfortable in your classroom and they know where everything is and they know what you expect. So the next thing I want to say to make your students feel welcome is to greet them at the door and make sure you say, "Welcome to music. My name is Miss, Mrs., or Mr. whatever." We'll say Smith just for fun. And so making sure you greet them at the door. Don't just let them be standing there waiting for you or have their teacher just let them walk in your room without you getting a chance to even say hi to them. Mainly the first, as the school year goes on, then it's up to you with what you expect and what your procedures are, but the first time you get each class, it's really important that you make a good first impression. They need to, even if, like I said before, if the students have known you for a long time, they haven't seen you all summer. So just coming in the hall and them seeing your excitement and that you're there at the door greeting them and saying hi and, whatever, shaking their hand, giving a side hug or whatever it is, whatever you're comfortable with. Even just the word hi or hello or welcome and welcome to music or whatever you say is good enough. Okay, so another thing I want to talk about is let's talk about new students. So if new students coming to music, this may be a student who has come from a school that has never had a music program before. So maybe they're just totally uncomfortable. You're telling them to sing and they are looking back at you like, you want me to what? The only time I've done that is in the shower in the car with my mom. So don't embarrass them. Don't embarrass, of course, any child ever. But don't be like, oh my gosh, would you just open your mouth and sing this song? Give them time to adjust and get used to music. And this goes for every child. You're still going to have these kids, maybe since kindergarten, you've been trying to get them to sing and tune, and they're now, a third grader, and you're still like, okay, this is my goal, is to get this child this year to sing. And so don't ever embarrass a child. Way for them to get comfortable with you is for them to know that you're going to encourage them to do the things in music, but you're not going to call them out and embarrass them for not doing it, quote, air quotes, correctly. Okay, so I want to talk about kindergarten real quick. Okay, so kindergarten is a whole new bag of worms or bag of, what is that phrase? Bag, I don't know, we'll just call it a new bag in itself. They're all new. So this is brand new for all of them. They're going to come into music. It's going to look like a jungle and oh my God. It's going to look like if you take a child to, there's a lot of play areas around wherever you live, and the children just get to go in and go crazy and run and play. Well, what's the first thing you would do if you're a kindergartner and you walk into music? You would immediately see all the things and just go crazy. You would want to just go play them all. So with kindergarten, it's very important, obviously, that you let them know who you are. You have a smiling face. You introduce yourself. But they really need to know what they're allowed to touch and what they're not allowed to touch. And procedures, go a long way. It's really hard for kindergarten because, for me anyways, I did not do a lot of the larger instruments until the spring. And so they would see them just sitting there and then know they couldn't play them. But they knew my expectations. So make sure just kindergarten knows, and go slow, and you're going to realize, wow, what a difference kindergarten and first grade makes. It's a huge jump. So with kindergarten, getting them used to you is very, very important. Getting them used to the music classroom is very, very important. And just take your time with them and be patient. Okay, so with all the grades, like I said, make sure they know what's different in this grade level, the new grade level they're in, than was the year before. And so they get excited about music and they know what to expect. And then make sure you go over with all of your students why music is important. Review that. Have it hanging on your wall somewhere. Have it sent home in your, beginning of the year newsletter. Make sure the kids know. You're going to get some of them that are always, why do we come to music? I don't like music class. But, make sure you know. I have a son like that who complains about life. So you're going to always have those kids. But make sure they know why music is important. Tell them, this is why you have music. This is why it matters. This is why we do sing. It helps you, in these other areas. And this is something you can feel successful in. And along those lines, a good way to get kids excited about music class is explain to them. A lot of kids are really into sports, so explain music is a team. We work as a team in here. And talk about how you need everybody to participate and give all team effort, because to accomplish things in music class, they all have to work together. And then also, another way for them to get to know you is kids love to learn about you outside of school. So talk about why you love teaching music. Why did you become a music teacher? Tell them about your family. Tell them about, you don't need to go into detail about everything in the world, but even your favorite ice cream, and that would start a discussion with the kids about their favorite ice cream, or tell them something you did this summer, and then they'll tell you about what they did this summer. Spend time. I know as a music teacher, you don't see them very much, but spend time getting to know your kids, not just musically, but let them know that you have another side to you and that you're excited to get to know the other side of them also as a person, not just musically. So I hope these points are helpful. I know as you start the school year, it does get a little crazy. You're trying to plan lessons and you have all the staff meetings and all the professional development. But don't forget, as you're thinking about planning the lessons and going over procedures, that you really do make the kids feel comfortable coming to music and getting to know you as well. It will really help your school year. So I hope you found this helpful, and I am going to be back soon with another episode. And I would love for you in the show notes to check out a freebie I have for you that will hopefully help you as you continue your music teaching journey. All right, everybody, have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for listening in to the Elementary Music Teacher Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And while you're there, I would love for you to review the show and leave a rating on iTunes. To find out more about how I can help you gain momentum in your elementary music teaching career, head to thedomesticmusician.com, where you'll find free downloads, courses, the blog, and so much more. Continue teaching music and never doubt the impact you're making each and every day in the lives of your students.